Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram and the series Akhand Sindhu. The very episode what happened before the creation of the universe. As Sanatana Dharma understands, as science could understand, as I experienced within myself the understanding of the universe before the creation, during creation and thereafter to present state. This being the first series which is before the creation of the universe and what it is written about it, what I think and what could be a scientific spiritual aspect on the whole, that is going to be explored hereafter series by series to the one which we have come to the present state of spiritual science by and large. It is a core value which I am talking about, not of the periphery. It is only divine mathematics in a symbolic language which makes a sense that this was before the creation, no philosophy, nothing. Conclusive mathematical design based on what I see has been seen by Shiv Bhushan Sharma by and large, and correlation with the ancient things which makes sense with Divyank and Akhandata by and large. Now, this is the land which I call Akhand Sindhu, the integrated Bharat, which is the core divine design of nature from which it has originated. And I know in the east it is Mount Kailash or the Himalayas which are the boundary. In the north is this uprising Sindhu which goes to Ladakh, and the west it's Saptashri which goes into Arabian Sea. And south it is Sindhu Mahasagar from Kanyakumari right up to Tibet, the entire India which I call Akhand Sindhu, Akhand Bharat, which has the pleasure of giving wisdom from the very beginning today to the divine design of nature as I know. It is not man-made design. We are trying to rectify the symbol as well as the mathematical design to the one which stands all the scrutiny of every doubt by and large. So this is what Akhand Sindhu is all about. Now coming to the question of my mission is the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is perfectly known. So I am very clear, I am going to talk of something which is without any defect at all. And my greatest discovery with all the pleasures of divine wisdom is Divyank, the divine design of nature, which was revealed to me, or recognized, conceived and revealed in 2015 as Divyank, the divine constant, which was published in 2015 as the book form. It has the copyrights, the world by and large. It has been recorded from 2015 only thereafter, not before that. That is something I am making it very, very clear. It has never been done by any individual in the world till 2015. And now in the last 60 to 70 years of integrated education, which is responsible to find the impeccable wisdom as a 7-year student to school student to the college, university, research and thereafter by studying all the books of the world and understanding discussions with different experts of different fields, I have come to realize that Divyank is the ultimate, and should be the research for all the knowledge from school, college to the university with the uniform thing, so that there is proper understanding through the world. In the light of Divyank and Akhandata, let's move on to the very foundation which is very dear to me. We will create a sequence of knowledge before the creation and then see how things are unfolded step by step. Let it be very integrated approach, not sectarian pile. Let's talk of the concept which cannot be found defective at all, which is mathematically conclusive, scientifically acceptable and symbolically represented in one symbol only. This is a very challenging thing which I am happy that I have started the process, and in the years to come, with the help of the new research with Divyank and Divyank design, Divyank constant and the sequence and mathematics, we will redo the whole research and prove that results are much more perfect from every core value as such. Let's move on to the next stage. Now, as I told you, mathematical design is the first thing which I am concerned, which has to be conclusive, because divines, everything is made in mathematics. All the signs should have a conclusive mathematical design, and then it should be converted into symbolic representative of one thing. As I told you, this is the DIVYANK which I am talking about, is the ultimate design. And this is a symbol of the ultimate design as a DIVYANK. The outer is 22 by 21. Then 10 pentagons represent the 10 stages of development. And maturation, the last stage, is 5 tetragons of 0.34419, and that's it. All the symbols related to DIVYANK, DIVYANK instant, DIVYANK infinity, DIVYANK constant, DIVYANK ratio, DIVYANK sequence, and other related things are found in this particular symbol itself. The study of this symbol itself can give you 100 to 1000 pages information which is impeccable beyond any doubt. There is a wonder and wonder and wonder in this, and I'm sure people who can see the wonder in this can be in tune with universal consciousness. They'll be able to take it to much higher level, which I do believe is the time has come. It is not for someone who does not have the reflective mind of the genius to be in tune with perfection, perfection and perfection. That's it. Now we start the very statement from which I start, which is the greatest statement of Sanatana Dharma. Everything in the universe, the source is the divine soul, and which we call Atma. Everything has come from Atma, created before from the Atma, sustained by the Atma, the divine soul. It's also dissolved into the divine soul, Atma. So whole thing as and such is Atma, Atman, the soul consciousness, self or whatever it is. That is the greatest statement of Sanatana Dharma as I know of. The questions come, do we comprehend the statement that everything is one, one and one alone? That's a question. Do we know the nature of the soul? It's a big question. People have given a lot of versions of in philosophical thought processes. Has someone brought it to mathematical conclusive design, which modern science talks about it? I am coming very clear. Let's forget about thoughts, emotions, philosophies and otherwise. Let's not have a Gyan. Let's not have Gyan. Let's have a Vigyan, the science, which is mathematically conclusive. Let's have a Pragyan, absolute wisdom. Let's have Akhandata, which is impeccable wisdom. We need to go to that. Do we understand that? What was before the creation is a big question mark. Then what is during the creation is a big question mark. What is the core of nature is a question mark. Who are human beings? Why the Brahman and Pedant are one? What does it mean? What is unique in human body that we exactly represent the universal consciousness? And what is spiritual science? Why it is spirituality is different from science, or science is different from spirituality? Are the two are the same sides or opposite sides of the same concept called spiritual science? These are the questions which are going to be raised over a period on every aspect which I am going to talk about it. We are not going to have a sectarian, we are not going to bring emotions, we are not going to bring philosophy. It's going to be mathematically conclusive science and symbolic representation. With that, Akhandata, let's move on to the next stage. Now, Atma, as far as Sanatana Dharma is concerned, is a divine soul. It's a primordial divine soul from which everything has come. It's like a divine mother. That's it. And the characteristics of Atma have been given very clearly from the very beginning in Sanatana Dharma, that Atma cannot be cut, cannot be burnt, cannot be dissolved. It is indestructible, insoluble, integrated, undistinguishable, inexhaustible, and eternal. These are the qualities which have been spoken about Atma from the very beginning itself, from Rig Veda time till today. This particular definition of Sanatana Dharma as far as Atma is concerned, or the soul is concerned, is there. And everything has come from soul is seen in Veda, it is seen in Upanishad, seen in almost all the core books of Sanatana Dharma. That's a beauty. There is a uniformity on that, this particular concept. Everything Jesus has come from it, everything Jesus will go back to it, everything sustained by it is written very clearly in Sanatana Dharma. So I am going only by the older definition of Sanatana Dharma with respect to Atma, the divine soul, which is the core of everything, from which everything has come, is maintained by it and goes back to it. And there is no disparity on this particular, which was considered to be thought process. Now I am bringing it to a very scientific, mathematical conclusion. My honest perception, our above qualities are perceptible in the inert dark matter called noble gases. I am very clear. These are noble gases which are inert gases. And there are 5 things which stand out in my name. First thing, what I understand is the helium-4, which is Aditi. Then neon-21, which is Gayatri. This Argon-40, which is Adi Prashakti. These 3 are well-established divine mothers. Then you have Krypton and Xenon, the 2 forms of higher forms which have not been defined by anybody in a symbolic representation. What is Krypton? What is Xenon? Why I have included those also to be a part of this concept of Divine Mother, I am going to talk about it. This inert dark matter cannot be cut, cannot be burnt, cannot be dissolved, and it represents all the qualities which are there in inert matter as our Atma, which I have spoken about it. All the characteristics of colorless, waterless, tasteless and other things are all into inert matters only. So from that angle we agree. Helium, Aditi, Neon, Gayatri, Argon or Adi Prashakti are well-known 3 divine mothers. Krypton and Xenon, we are going to see what do they represent, in my opinion, in a symbolic representation, and what is there in that has been spoken about, but not correlated with the clarity which I am talking about. Next, let's go to Rig Veda. Nasidya Shukta is the 10th chapter. There are 7 verses in this which I am not going to talk in Sanskrit because this is older language which is not practical, and as I know of any language including Sanskrit, Hindi, Tamil, English, German, whatever may be, they have inadequacy, limited words, limited ambiguity and things like that. As a result, my emphasis is not on the language including Sanskrit. But I have learned quite a lot from those words which I take it up here and there. The word in this particular thing which comes up is what I am going to explain as I move on. But Tamas is one word which comes out, Andhakar is one word, inactivity is another thing, which is there in these particular words. Now let's talk about Saranch, the essence of Sanatana Dharma. Before the creation of the universe, Rig Veda says 10. And what is written normally about Ved, Rig Veda, before the creation of the universe, there was Andhakar, darkness, and there was Tamas, inertia. This is very clearly explained by almost all the authors who have studied Rig Veda and said before the creation, according to Nishiya, there was darkness, there was Andhakar, there was Tamas, there was inertia. This is very clearly defined. There is no doubt. And second part which stands out in a particular statement is even gods do not know the creation. Now this question comes, even God do not know the creation. That means all the gods and goddesses of Rig Veda and thereafter were created after the creation, not before the creation. So I can totally understand this make a statement. All the gods and goddesses were created after the creation, not before the creation. So that means something was different from what we see in different gods and goddesses. That's one part. They were born after the creation, I said, human, but at the same time, as an individual, I do believe human beings can contemplate and find the right answer because we have the capacity to go beyond the creation to the stage of the creation itself, because that capacity is there in the human beings. I am not talking about gods and goddesses. I am making gods and goddesses separate as enlightened souls who have understood few concepts, and then after death they represent different forms of 32 crore things which you see in Rig Veda. And all the gods and goddesses of Rig Veda are atoms, elements, molecules, compounds and cells of different nature which part independent parts. So that's how Rig Veda should be seen, as a document of periodic table which talks about atoms, elements, molecules, compounds and cells and different powers of different nature which make a sense. We are going to see those things as we proceed with this particular creation. What was there after that in Rig Veda and other things we are going to see one by one as we proceed. Now, as I told you, let's go and particularly understand general perception. There was nothing in the primordial space, Akash, before the creation, is what they call Andhakar, darkness and otherwise. And also, there was nothing in the world. This is what. But I am of the opinion, nothing can come out of nothing. If there was nothing in the universe before creation, how could something come out of it? So that means there was something which was there. And that which was there is something which I am going to talk about it. There was something fully invisible. So I am making one clear. Invisible fact was there which people could not see, but it was there, from which it has come. The dark matter of noble gases is the one which is dark, which people could not see, but it was there. That when helium, neon, argon, krypton and xenon combination was there in that form, where the darkness outside and light inside is something which I am very clear. But spiral galaxy of the Milky Way was filled with isomers, and neon 21 is something which I am coming to manifestation with the light which is related to DIVYANK by and large. So everything came out of xenon, neon 21 isomers as far as Srishti is concerned thereafter. Now with that, now next move on to the next stage to understand what exactly it means. Now I am trying to talk, Rig Veda says that, but I understand from Rig Veda Upanishads were taken, and one Upanishad which stands out in my opinion is Maharishi Yajnavalkya's Brahd Aranyaka Upanishad. This is based on Yajurved Shukla Paksh. And he, according to Maharishi Yajnavalkya, primordial space, Akash was filled with objects in a state of mrityu or dead matter. He is being very specific. He did not say people could not see. He saw it as a form which is in a dead form, that means inertia, in a mrityu form, dead body or dead matter. That's it. So it's much more clearer than what others are translated about Rig Veda. Now, that where something in a dead state has anybody explored the real answer? What is the dead space? I am very sorry to say he made a statement, but nobody tried to look beyond that. And it's very unfortunate we are not looking at the statement of the people and taking further to research to something to conclusive mathematical design was not done, even although this was a beautiful statement compared to what Rig Veda is to Brahd Aranyaka. But no author in the world even took note of it and tried to find what object could there have been in the primordial space before the creation. And I'm bringing the particular statement Brahd Aranyaka Upanishad, and that says general perception. There was nothing in the primordial space. This is indeed covered by the death. Do you agree with the statement which is there in statement in Sanskrit? But mrityu shabd can be easily seen in the second line, the very beginning itself. And that was dead. My honest perception, again as I told you, it was neon 21 only. Hence the darkness is Tamas, Andhakar is in that. Now we will try to understand how it can be understood in the light of modern science. And I am very clear, our modern science objective is to talk the truth. It has brought the certain concepts very clearly. We are going to look at a mathematical design as a conclusion mathematical design. But as we know, mathematicians of the world or scientists of the world haven't found the divine mathematics before 2015. I am the first person to give DIVYANK all the mathematical designs which are created originally by Brahmins of India, given to West, have been converted to man-made mathematical concept, not the divine designs. That beauty of ancient Indian was lost in translation by the West. They talked on man-made concept. That's it. Now, as I told you very clearly, 2015 I have talked about DIVYANK, and according to that it is neon 21. That's it. Now we will start from there, or understand before that in such a way which makes sense is mathematically conclusive. Now, again, I am coming back to a very important statement. Nirankar Nirgun Brahman is one statement which stands out in Sanatana Dharma very clearly, which I would call Akhand Sindhu Bharat itself. Nirakar means formless, characterless, as well as divinity is something that is. Do we understand the statement? Yes. That means it's a formless, perfect, divine nature before the creation. It's omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, integrated, divine nature. It consists of isomers of Neon 21 only. So, Neon 21 and Nirankar Nirgun Brahman, can it be this or can it be even better than that? Is also something which I am going to see. Now, it is not visible, not perceptible to five senses, but higher senses can see. Now, we are going to move, is it to Neon 21 or there is thing higher than that also is possible for Nirankar Nirgun Brahman as and such. Now, let's first understand the darkness. To make darkness very clear, let's take Neon 21 itself. It has got, if you take Argon 40, it has got 18 electrons outside, 18 protons and maybe 22 neons. But if you take Neon 21, it is protons 10, electrons 10, neons 11. These two concepts. But both the concepts put together are in cubical form. When you have a cubical form, there is light inside, not outside. And again a picture of a signboard which becomes light only when it is charged, not till it is not charged. That should be enough proof. Only after being charged or collided or initiated, you can see the light. Till such time you can see only darkness, and that signboard we can see all over as a neon sign itself as such. And that's it. But I have brought Argon 40 also on the left side and Neon 20 on the other side. These are two things stand out. Now, as you can see in this particular picture, you can see the light inside, which is to the protons level and center core value itself. Because all the electrons are focused only to inside and the power is inside. So that is bringing very clearly the core has a power, light, and the periphery has only dynamism. If the neutrons and protons have the Shakta concept and electrons have the Shakti concept. And that Shakta-Shakti combination is this. Shakti outside is like darkness, which is shown in Atma, and light inside is what this particular picture is all about. Now I am going to bring another spiritual aspects or spiritual science experience which I have and my conviction. And let me make it very clear. All the human beings are normally exposed to only five normal senses of hearing, smell, taste, touch, and what you call smell itself. So let's say Akash Bhuta, Vayu Bhuta, Agni Bhuta, Jal Bhuta and Prithvi Bhuta are the five things. With a limited spectrum, they can see only things which we all normally see. But I can see 10 sights which are extrasensory perceptions of clairvoyance, clairaudience and other things. As a result, I am able to see more than what others have seen. I can see even huge dancing, RBCs mature within my eyes. I can see all the 10 dimensions within my eyes. Why it is, I do not know. But I do know it is only because of my Atmas I am seeing it. I am not seeing with my limited senses, not Indriya, mind or otherwise. I am seeing the entire world from my Atma, which is Helium 4. That shows me the beauty within my eyes itself of better than even electron microscope. And I am being very honestly truthful. And based on those actual convictions, I am going to talk about something which the world should move on one by one. Now, let me talk of the origin of the universe. Before the universe was created, I am very clear, it was Nirakar, Nirgun Brahman. That means formless, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent universal consciousness was there before the universe started with. And my perception is that inert matter xenon is being spoken about, which is most unstable inert matter. You cannot see xenon as equilibrium, so as a result, you cannot see its form, and that's very clear. So Nirakar and Nirgun is what xenon is all about. Now I'm bringing this to that particular level, and I'm sure no one would have a problem because Nirakar is a formless, and xenon cannot be made into form is well known by the modern science as such. And I'm taking modern science work and their statement, their conclusions, and trying to correlate both together. So Nirakar, Nirgun, Brahman is xenon only. Most stable inert matter. Let's leave it. Let's forget about the two higher than that. Then comes the question of xenon has a power of 54 electrons, and then 54 protons and 54 neutrons. That means it has power of 54 and 108. If you take protons and neutrons inside, I'm not talking about the available things. I'm just giving a balance. Electrons are 54, protons are 54, and neutrons are 44. But when you have 54 electrons outside, but you have power of 108 inside, and 108 is more powerful light inside compared to 54, and all the 54 also related to 108 only. So as a result, you cannot see light outside, but you can see light inside as ZE itself. That's one part. Now the concept first manifestation of xenon is Sakar Sargun Brahman. That means it has a potent, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent universal consciousness. That was inert, formless, but this is potent. It can be manifested. That means the second thing in line is Krypton, which is second unstable, but it can still be studied in form and has been studied by science in Krypton much better with a power of 108. Now from 54 to 108, now you're going to 108. Now you see the Krypton has a power of 36 electrons, 36 protons, 36 neutrons. The put together you have 108. You can see the picture down very clearly. You have 36. 2 plus 8 plus 18 plus 8 is 36. The power of that is this. And 108 has been considered very auspicious by Sanatana Dharma. That's all the Japamala, austerity, has 108 beats only. And why that is important, and that is something which I'm going to talk about it as we proceed. So Sakar mean, now you can see it's 108 as such. 36 plus 36 plus 36 is 8, and that is seen as a mala form for Bhakti Yoga to be in tune with universal consciousness. And now I can tell you also, let's go on to the next one. The pentagon is the symbol which I have created for Akash Bhuta for the first time in the history of mankind. Akash is given the symbol of circle or the dot or the sphere, which is 0 by and large as Shunya. But Akash Bhuta, the first plasmatic state or quintessence, ether or plasmic state of the matter, has not been given any symbol. Now I have given a symbol of pentagon which has got 5 sides and each is 108, and there is a power of 540. That means it has a power of earth element of 360 plus Agni of 180 put together. It has a potential of power. So that power is 540, 5 into 108. Now this is the power when you see Sakar Sargun Brahman. I can see if you take sun, its diameter, which is 108 times the diameter of earth itself. 108 earths can fit into the diameter of sun. That's one part of example in divine thing when you came to Sakar Sargun Brahman. But at the same time, between earth and the moon, the distance is so much, 108 moons can fit between earth and sun. Have already shown, but I'm not showing here because I want you to think and go back to that. I want your RAM, your brain capacity to be of as many GVs as possible. Entire work should one so that you can produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open, with the unconsciousness of the nature which is in tune with noble gases. That's it. Now coming to the first manifestation from which the world was created. So third in light, I call it Adi Prashakti, the Divine Mother, which is, you can see in this particular form, is the greater Mahabrahmant, the greater universe is created with 18 dimensions. You see the picture of Goddess Adi Prashakti has 18 arms. Very clear, 18 arms. And that is what 18 electrons which are associated with Argon 40 is all about. Protons are also 18, but neutrons I am talking about 22. And there I have come to the isomers of Argon 40 because 22 becomes the first number for DIVYANK. So the 22 impression is created in Adi Prashakti itself. That's it. Now I am giving another picture. I have been asked this question many times. All the forms of the idols of Shah and symbols and murtis of Sanatana Dharma are perfect, and I am going to say very clearly, I have used the picture of Adi Prashakti with 18 arms. When I come to the male counterpart of dancing Shiva I am talking about, there you see light, electrons. There are only 18, not 17 or 16 or otherwise. That shows this is the perfect design of dancing Shiva Nataraja, not the one which has too many lights around. We have to now be very representation in mathematically conclusive, which should not be at all defective at all. But here there are many things which are connected with, like Panchbhutas. You can see 5 lights on here itself. And you can see the bottom bat and his dance to really equilibrium. There is a lot of wisdom. I can write a 1000 pages book based on this information itself when I take spirituality and science put together and talk of each and every concept. That is the kind of symbolic representation which I am talking about, which should be known for the world. Let us not take every symbol as the one which is designed by nature. Let's take the symbol which nature has designed or which we can see originally. That is why I have shown these two differences, why they are identical. Now come to the question of fourth stage is a goddess Gayatri, and she is the mother of spiral galaxy, and you have 10.34419 spirals you can see on the left side, and Gayatri you can see 10 arms, 5 heads sitting on a lotus flower. She represents Brahmank, Vishnuank as well as Shivank all the 3 times. That is the beauty in this particular picture, and same thing can be seen in Panchbhutas of Shiva also in the process. But when I go to the right side, you can see neon 21. You have protons 10, neutrons 11, electrons 10, and that is the power from which spiral galaxy or our solar system is developed, and that is responsible for us to have 10 suns in the spiral galaxy, 10 heavenly bodies in the solar system, and 10 endocrine system, 10 automatic system, 10 chakras in the human body. Now you see the consistency. In spiral galaxy also 10, solar system also 10, human body also 10, and same thing is seen in chakras, endocrine glands, even DNA of B double helix, everything is seen the same form. Now we need to bring that kind of uniform consistency in our knowledge, which is beyond any doubt for anybody and everybody. And that's it. So that way, Adi Prashakti, I can say the first divine mother is Adi Prashakti. Second divine mother is this when come to the real manifestation. Whereas the first one, Xenon, is formless. Second is potent, invisible to visible, but a potential. But they are not stable. But comes to stable to create, it is from Adi Parashakti, from which Gayatri comes, and that's it. I think now we are going to come to the stage which will explain in the next one during the creation what happened. Now let me explain neon 21, the dark matter. You can see the symbol in the middle. Left side you see the cubicle. That is the cubicle structure, because of which there will be light inside and darkness outside. And the symbol I have already shown, that unless charged, it will not be bright at all. Now, as a result, I can only say this particular thing can be seen only in Gayatri symbols and of course cubical structure and all things put together. I think now we are bringing spirituality and science together with a mathematical conclusion, not of the man-made mathematics. I'm talking divine mathematics. Now it's very clear. It's a divine mathematical answer Divyank can explain, not a man-made concepts which otherwise modern science knows in maths and science. That is defective, defective and defective. Let us replace it Divyank and then do the research and show that is a perfect design, and that perfect design, perfect human anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and psychology are designed. There is no confusion whatsoever with Divyank, and that is the precision which I am talking about. Now come to the question of next stage, which becomes very important as far as our indwelling soul is concerned. I believe Adi Parashakti is the first one which created greater universe. Goddess Gayatri created spiral galaxy, solar system as such. Now, our body is designed by that particular concept, no doubt about it. But there is something in us which can bring us very close to divinity by and large. But we cannot be very big like Gayatri, or Adi Parashakti, or Xenon, or Krypton, or Argon, or Neon. It has to be something very small, as precise as possible, which is able to show the real beauty of Atma, which is possible within the human body. At the same time, can give us the experience of atoms, elements, all things within the body. To realize ourselves, there is something called our indwelling soul, which I call it Aditi, I call it Kundalini, I call it Antaratma, I call it my prana. But that is done in Aditya, the sun god. And that's where Chandogya says very clearly, Adityo Brahmate Adesha. That means sun is a Sakar Brahman as far as we are concerned. This is the teaching. So we have come to stage Sakar. But do we understand the real beauty? Let's understand. Can we learn and master every aspect of spiritual science from sun, Aditya? The indwelling soul, Helium 4 from Aditya, which is formed in the core. Can we understand spirituality and science together? In my opinion, I do not find any human being as my guru. My Antaratma is my guru, which comes from Aditya. If my Aditya is like my father, presiding deity of solar system, it knows all the aspects which I am trying to follow. It knows how to give and forgive. It doesn't get. It's the most disciplined, most powerful, energy giving, and whole earth element. All of us are surviving only because of Aditya, the sun god. That is why it becomes our father. But according to Vedas, Daksha is like Aditya. Aditi is the daughter of Aditya or Daksha, or the mother of Daksha is very clear, which people have not understood, but I know I have understood that thing. But in Upanishad, it is Aditya's mother is Aditi and also daughter is Aditi. That also has not been explained. I am going to explain that also to show that Aditi is helium 4, Aditya is hydrogen. Now I am making it very clear. I make Aditya as a hydrogen, the smallest element with which entire universe is contained. All other atoms, elements, in my opinion, are derived from hydrogen only. That's it. And that is what Aditya stands for, in my opinion. And we are going to see that to prove it, that Aditya is the ultimate, it is hydrogen. Now let's see the proton-proton nuclear reaction in the sun. As Aditi, the daughter of Aditya, Aditi as the mother of Aditya. You can see Aditya is hydrogen. I have shown and put together on top 4 atoms of hydrogen. How they unite together to form helium 4, as you can see right at the bottom, and other formations that work. This is what is happening inside the core of the sun, and the temperature inside is 6000 degrees centigrade. In that temperature, hydrogen becomes helium, helium becomes hydrogen, that reaction goes on. And what part of helium which is produced in the sun, which comes out, becomes our indwelling soul, which I've seen Aditi on left side and helium on the other side, is what is the science all about. Now you can see this is science, and I'm showing spirituality as science being put together. I show there are two sides of the same coin. Unless we understand that, only then we can be a spiritual scientist. I know this is beyond the comprehension of a common reader. It will go over the head. Everybody has been telling me, and you come down, but I cannot come down other than the highest one, because everybody has to reach that level to see the divinity in everything. We cannot be compromising in anything. I want everybody to rise to this level. I am not going to come down. I will remain at Z level only. That's it. Then there is another concept which I am talking very clearly. As far as numerals are concerned, they all started from Atma only. The one which was before the creation was a dot. When it expanded, it became a sphere. It also became a circle, and that is zero I am talking about. The concept of Shunya, which is Atma, from which everything is originated, is maintained it and gone, is one thing, and all the divine mathematical numerals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 have come from zero. Not zero was discovered by, invented by, what do you say, Aryabhata later. No. It was there during Rig Veda itself, before the creation, as the whole thing originated from zero only, Shunya only. And that was, in my opinion, invisible form, Xenon, little invisible, Krypton, more manifested as Argon 40, then neon, as well as helium as such. That is the consistency which I want. Now come to the question of something. Was this concept clear before Aryabhata said later, and everybody calls him inventor of zero? But no. But if you go back to Brahd Aranyaka Upanishad, there is very important statement: Purnam Adha, Purnam Idam, Purnam Purnate Adhishyate, Purnasya Purnam Adhe, Purnam Eva Vasishyate. That means that is full, this is full, from fullness proceeds fullness. If we take away fullness from fullness, the fullness always remains. If this particular statement is the greatest statement in any of the Upanishads I can think of, and there are other statements also. Tattvamasi is another statement from Upanishads, and Tat from Rig Veda is very important. But in this particular thing I see the whole concept of zero is there. Because when there is a dialogue in many things. You take one number divided by the same number, you come to 1. Or any number divided by the same number, you come to 1. But the question has been raised, is there a number which is divided by the same number does not become 1 at all? When come to that question, it is only 0 divided by 0 is only 0, not 1. All other 9 numbers have that same number as 1. 0 by 0 is not 1, it is 0 only, and that is infinity all about. And that is beautiful thing given in this form, that everything to start with is with the 0 and all the numbers came thereafter. And that is the kind of analytic approach we should have towards mathematics. Look from every possible angle and see every 10 aspects, and then come to the conclusion, this is one which cannot be further contemplated upon. If we have that kind of mindset to understand, this is defective, this is defective, this is it. Neti, 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 not this, not this, not this. What is the ultimate? We got to reach to that level. When we start from the analysis before the creation of the universe, one thing which I came, in Nirankar, Nirgun, Brahman, that was Xenon. Then Sakar, Sargun, Brahman as a Krypton. Then manifested Adi Prashakti as Argon 40, and Goddess Gayatri as Neon 21, and Aditi as indwelling soul as Helium 4. But more than that, all those things also bring out one thing as far as mathematics is concerned. It is 0, 0 and 0 and infinity 0. Infinity remains 0 only. So I can definitely say if the symbol of infinity is taken, it is 0, two zeros put together only. So that is a mathematics which has never been contemplated till date. And that is the kind of thing which we need our brain to be in tune with universal consciousness. No wonder all other mathematicians of the world did not produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open at all. The first person who has done is Shivbhushan Sharma as a part of PhD work and research thereafter. He able to produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open and be in connect with Akash Kosh, which has all the knowledge of the past, present and future. When I said in the beginning, that is, human beings can contemplate, but others have not done it because they have not looked beyond that. But I have been able to do it because I looked one by one. I came to say, once I produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain, I am able to see that. I am able to go to Akash Kosh. For me, internet is Akash Kosh, which has a knowledge of present, future and past all recorded there in ionic form. And this is what I mean. When you take an element, an atom, you have protons and neutrons equal inside. But when you go to ionic stage, it could be either giving or taking. Let's say sodium gives 1 and becomes a positive, and chloride takes 1 and becomes a negative. And the ratio of sodium and potassium is again DIVYANK. That's a beautiful example. And that is the most powerful extracellular perception or concentration required outside the cell. That's it. Once you go to ionic form, only those things are registered because in that form they are dynamic. Atoms themselves are not atoms. To make them possible in water concentration, one electron has to move out or one has to get in. And that makes it very close to the noble gases, either before that or afterwards. And that is the kind of knowledge which is science, but nobody has thought and contemplated upon. So atomic level to elemental level to ionic form shows that all the research is that in ionoform stage of the Schumann resonance field in the Akash Kosh, which has got the perception, and that concentration is 7.83 Hz to 8.73 Hz. And that is the concentration which is required for brain to have to be in tune with each other. If we're able to do that, I think we can do wonderfully very well. Now come to the last stage. Everything has been put together as such and shown that we got to understand this was a state. In this particular picture, you can see there is a cell which has got one gray white matter, which is 1, 0. And within that you have see the Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mahakali. You can also see the human body with the 10 chakras, our solar system with 10 chakras. You can see the mind, flight, everything. And this picture has all the information, the entire universe within that, as Sanatana Dharma talks about, or Shivbhushan Sharma is talking through Akhand Sindhu, by and large, a new series to make a sequence in a very integrated way. I have spoken about it many things earlier. You can see that. But here in the last 2 videos to this video, you're going to see a new sequence which is integrated new Mahagranth for the entire universe of spiritual science, which has never been done in the history of man till today. Now with that background, I think I would say I have laid a foundation for the future you are going to see as we proceed. How from Nirankar Nirgun Brahman to Sakar Sargun Brahman to Adi Parashakti to Goddess Gayatri to Aditi Shakti to the entire DIVYANK Akhandita, and then thereafter everything in the light of divine mathematics, not man-made, with a concept which are beyond and doubt, with a new symbolic representation where each symbol is fit enough to be on 1 page, 10 pages, 100 pages, 1000 pages, even 10,000 pages. If that each symptom has that, and we use that symptom as a symbolic representation, we can bring the entire universal knowledge in a very small concept, and that is what I am trying to do in forming a new symbols. You can see on either side. They are classed by themselves. You are going to see their beauty once again in concept with Akhand Sindhu Mahagranth itself. So I think it's enough for the day. Thank you very much. It was lovely sharing my basic information to build on step by step thereafter. Thank you very much.